Showtime! The Capital G show starts right now.
What's up YouTube, Capital G here. So we're talking about Premium Gold 2, which was announced yesterday. It's going to be released early 2015. Now, I myself am actually a very huge fan of all the Gold Series sets. I think that Gold Series it's something that's really healthy for the game. We get a lot of reprints that we need, and unfortunately, we don't know any of the cards that are going to be released in the set, but I thought it would still be cool to do the very obvious thing and to list some cards that I would definitely love to see in the set. I decided to mainly stick to cards that haven't been released in any holographic form yet, but then I also decided to put some cards on here that have desperately been in need of reprints. Cards that might be very expensive or just really hard to find. So without further ado, this is my top 10 wish list cards for Premium Gold 2, the Yu-Gi-Oh hierarchy. Number 10, Grave of the Super Ancient Organism. So many people might not even know of this card's existence, but this could be one of the hottest cards in the game to pick up cheap and sell high on. Being released all the way back in Raging Battle, the card didn't have a ton of usefulness when it first was released. But if you look at the game now, we've got just what the doctor ordered for this card to be viable and very good in an upcoming format. Konami is about to release an incredibly powerful archetype made almost solely of high-level monsters that are always special summoned in Necloths, and this card is going to be an excellent answer to that deck. Not only can those Necloth monsters not attack, but they can't even attempt to activate their effect. That's actually much better than Skill Drain. Number 9, Leo, the Keeper of the Sacred Tree. Within the last year, I would definitely say that Leo has been on the short list of hardest monsters in the game to kill for most decks. It has an incredibly high 3100 body, which makes it obviously very difficult to kill in battle. I mean, the only deck that I would say that can consistently do it is Bujin's. And when you look at most rank 4 base decks like Yugioh, Evil Swarm, or Infernity, they often have to do desperate plays such as nuking the entire board with Exciton Knight just to get rid of this one problem card. Number 8, the MONARCHS STORMFORTH. Think about how many decks in the game over the last few months have taken full advantage of the long dead tribute mechanic. Now look how many of those decks have either main or side decked this card. Almost all of them. Batteryman, Burning Abyss, and anti-meta variants of high tribute stun. They've all flourished recently, topping YCSs and countless regionals, and I think that a lot of this has to do with this momentum changing, non-targeting card that has been absolutely devastating for opposing players. Number 7, Soul Drain. This could be possibly the best card in the entire game that has not been printed as a holo. Seriously, a card this powerful, which currently is limited in the TCG, has the ability to destroy and just constrict entire archetypes. Shadows, Burning Abyss, Yangzing. I mean, they see this card and they just pretty much crawl into a ball and die. I think this card is definitely worthy of some bling. Number 6, Manju of the 10,000 Hands. So I've come to the conclusion that Manju is going to be one of those cards that's just flat out good forever. If you look at ritual decks in the past, or at least the highly competitive ones, they've all been a little, shall we say, gimmicky. Whether it's always trying to OTK your opponent with Demise or praying to God that you can keep total lockdown with Herald of Perfection, Manju has been the one invaluable piece through it all, and his staple status in the Necloths has never been in question. Number 5, Arcanite Magician. How on earth did this not get reprinted in the Legendary Collection 5Ds pack? I mean, I just really don't get that. But regardless of how badly Konami screwed it up and missed a prime opportunity to give this card its much needed reprint, this one needs to happen not just because Arcanite deserves it, but just out of flat out necessity to the players. Number 4, 103 Ragnarzero. So am I the only one that was completely shocked when they released this card as a rare, considering how good Ragnarzero actually is? I mean, it's definitely one of the top 10 generic rank 4 XCs that the game has ever seen, but with Kleeports now a huge threat to pretty much every deck in the entire meta, I would say that this card is as relevant as it was when Bujin's and Madoche were like really good high tier 1 decks. Number 3, Summoner's Art. Holy $20 rare, Batman. I never thought that I'd see the day where we paid $20 for a rare that only searches one card in an entire deck. But then again, if you put it into context where this card searches the heart and soul of arguably the best deck in the game, it does make a little more sense. sense. The point is, Summoner's art has been out of print for over half a decade. This one just needs to happen. It was obvious. Number 2, VANITY'S Fiend. So I don't think that I'm out of line when I say that VANITY'S Fiend is probably the best tribute monster in the entire game, and I don't even think it's close. I think it's by like a mile. Most meta decks are opting not to run battle traps. That means that when VANITY'S Fiend hits the board, I mean, this guy's just getting harder and harder to kill for most meta decks, and it takes away your opponent's most commonly used way to counterattack, obviously the special summon. So if they can't special summon and they don't have any battle traps, good luck trying to take this guy down. And with cards like the MONARCHS STORMFORTH, VANITY'S Fiend is now easier to summon than ever. Honorable mentions include Karma Cut and a selection. And finally, number 1, Fairy Wind, a $7 common and currently on the rise. I mean, just wrap your brain around that. This is one of those amazing cards that I think a lot of us took for granted, no matter how good this card was as a side deck option. And it was viable and great for years. It's just I don't think anybody ever really took notice. It was always a 1-for-1 against continuous speller traps or field spells. But now that we live in a pendulum-based world, I think that Fairy Wind is probably going to be one of the top 3 sided cards in the entire game. And, you know, just spending $8 on a common kind of rubs me the wrong way. So I definitely would appreciate a blinged out reprint. So let me know what you guys think. Did I mess up on this list? Were there any cards that you guys think should be on this list? And leave that in the comment section below. Thank you for watching as always. Subscribing makes life happy.